Most people start out using AI a bit like a chatbot. They ask questions and they get answers. But the problem comes when you try to use this in your work. People often find that they end up using the same prompts again and again. The context gets lost in lots of different chats. And if you're trying to use AI within a project, it will forget where you are and has no idea how to advise you further. At this point, the problem isn't prompting anymore, it's the structure and how you use AI. And to help with this, AI platforms like ChatGPT often have a few different ways you can use their tools, either via things like Custom GPTs and via projects. And in this video, we're going to have a look at the key differences between them. I'm looking at the ChatGPT interface now, and on the left-hand side here, what you'll tend to find is that you have this option here for GPTs and this option for projects. And underneath, you'll have a number of items, and these appear above your recent chats in the sidebar. At first glance, these look similar, and most people treat them like two quite similar features, but they're there to solve two completely different problems. And the real question isn't really what features should you use, it's what kind of structure do you want? Do you want something that behaves more like a tool or something that behaves like a workspace? In this respect, we can imagine GPTs as tools and projects as workspaces. Let's have a look at each and I'll show you the key differences between the two. So I'm looking at a custom GPT here. I've created one here as a tool to generate proposals. And all I'm going to do is paste in a simple request here saying that I want a proposal for a mid-sized consulting firm. And I'm going to hit enter, and this will generate my proposal in exactly the same structure each time. It's going to be consistent, it's going to be on brand in terms of its tone of voice, and this is all because of the way we've set things up as a custom GPT. And this is one of a custom GPT's key skills. It will tend to have a consistent output, and you should use these as tools. I'm going to edit this GPT to show you how this works. So as you'll see, a custom GPT has a title, it can have a logo and a description, and it will have a set of instructions that you can give it. And underneath here, we have knowledge. And these are files that you can upload to support the way this GPT works. So in this example, since this is a proposal generator, I've got an example client brief, a standard proposal structure, which will define how it lays the proposal out, and the tone of voice, the consulting tone guide here. And it will use these together to create a consistent output. Now, we use GPTs for lots of things in our own business, but as an example, you might use it as a proposal generator like this. You could use it for structured research. You could pass transcripts and get the relevant input out for you. You could get it to help you build on ideas that you may have, business ideas, or you may use it to ensure that all of your communications going out of your business are on brand, in the same tone of voice. The point with custom GPTs is consistency. You're aiming for a similar output every single time. And the knowledge files that we have here work best if they don't change regularly. And this is the key difference here between custom GPTs and projects where the knowledge might change more regularly. What you're trying to do with a custom GPT is hone this set of instructions and the knowledge so that it outputs exactly what you want every single time. Projects, on the other hand, are for evolving work. You might use them for client projects, research projects, business idea generation, internal documentation, or if you're writing a book, because they are designed for living knowledge bases and things that change over time. If I click into this project I've got here set up for a consulting firm, you'll see that it neatly groups any chats underneath it. This is unlike custom GPTs, which will not have a record of what chats were created underneath. However, like custom GPTs, you can still add sources. And as this is a consulting firm that we're working with here, I've added a client brief, stakeholder interview, and the current workflows. And you may find that these kind of things get changed over time more regularly than they would in a custom GPT. So you might swap out some of these sources, add new sources, update workflows as you're working through projects. And unlike the custom GPTs, where we're expecting a structured output every single time, this may be something that we talk to as in more of a conversational format. So I've got an example prompt here. So we can say, what practical AI applications could Acme Consulting Limited improve proposal development and research workflows? So we're asking it something here, and it will use the instructions as well as the sources that we've added there, can generate responses that way. So the structure looks like this. Custom GPTs are your tools, projects are your workspaces, and the workflow that you use across both of these is your system. Tools perform the repeatable moves, and projects hold the evolving work. And the best systems combine the two. So, for example, you might develop a proposal generator GPT that creates your proposals quickly and efficiently, and all in a similar format. But each client engagement might live in its own project. There are a few common mistakes that we see. The first is using custom GPTs as basically a prompt wrapper. If you structure a GPT well, the output should be consistent and not need much work done at the end of it. Whereas if you've just got a large prompt that hasn't been added in a strategic way, your outputs will be unreliable and will require a lot of adjustment. The second mistake we see is people using projects as file dumping grounds. It's useful to be able to add files, but if there are too many and there's no real sense of what each file is there for, then the AI is just going to get confused. What you should do is hand select a number of relevant files and make sure that the instructions provided to the project have some context of why they're there and of what use they will be. And that will help you get the best outputs from projects. And the third mistake is using custom GPTs as kind of live databases. So we see people swapping the knowledge out of those and changing the instructions all the time. And that's not really the idea behind a custom GPT. If you are finding yourself copying and changing the knowledge as part of it, then that probably should have been a project instead. Now, we've been showing you this on ChatGPT, but this structure isn't unique to ChatGPT. We're seeing similar patterns across other AI tools. Gemini has gems, which are their equivalent of custom GPTs, and Anthropic have their own equivalents as well. But what's consistent is that we see tools and workspaces. And the idea is that you can use systems that combine the two effectively. The real shift here isn't AI getting smarter, it's how you structure your work around it to get the best results. Most people are still focusing on prompts, but the real leverage comes from designing the environment that AI works inside: tools, workspaces, and systems. And once you start thinking this way, then AI becomes much more than just a chatbot. It becomes the way you get your work done. If you're exploring how AI fits into your expert-led business, then follow along for more videos.